No sound?
How about this? I didn't want to get the loop from last time that we had with Remy, so let me know how the sound is now, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. So let me start again. This handsome chap right here, Phil, product owner Phil. Look at that moustache. It's coming along nicely. He might be already cheating for Movember, but you know, that's all right. We'll give it to him. Okay, so there's no weird echo this time?
Probably until I start talking, right?
No, I think it should be okay, actually. So, no,
Nice.
that's good. Yeah, that's good. Hey, so, ladies and gentlemen, first off, can we please, like, we're here to talk to you guys about consoles, okay? So, we are, like, we know we love you guys. Please stop spamming in the chat, console lives matter, because A, it's a bit tacky, and B, we're here, you know, like, to address you about it. So, we do hear you. There's no need to keep spamming that. Otherwise, we will unfortunately have to give some timeouts because it's just ruining chat. So there we go. But anyway, so first off, Phil, where should we start, dude? Like, where do we want to lead off the conversation? I suppose.
Yeah, I think we can bite the bullet once more. And for the people who are not aware of the announcement yesterday, we had planned to release the Silver Ridge Peaks map on console. I think we previously announced it for July the 8th, and unfortunately we're not able to make that happen. So our announcement was wrong, big mistake on our end there, and the new timeline we're planning for is August 11th now. So that's a pretty long time away, and we apologize big time for that. That's the update. We shared that yesterday, and now in the stream, obviously, we can talk a little bit more about that, see what kind of questions come up. And of course, first thing, make sure that you guys informed, that we are transparent about it, and that it's not a case of like, yeah, we prefer one platform over the other or anything like this, because we have the whole team who's been working on this reserve day and night, and obviously they are super disappointed as well. And we're doing a couple of things in the background to make sure that that doesn't happen. But yeah, I mean, we're here to show a little bit of the reserve and take your questions.
Yeah, basically, and I mean, I'm just playing in the background here, but the whole thing about this stream is like, look, our hands are up. You know, we are sorry, but it's just kind of the way things are, and you know, we're hoping to address some of your more specific questions today. You know, around it all, and you know, like I was saying, we're not here to hide anything or anything like that. Just have an open, honest conversation with you guys about it all, I suppose. So, yeah. But so let's start picking out some questions, I guess.
Yeah, I can see the first good one already from AimFix. Q&A didn't pass, so that's quality assurance. And I think they'd be angry at this one because they were angry at me last time. Because I messed up. I also wrote Q&A, which is like questions and answers,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then they were like, "This is the cardinal mistake. Don't do this again." I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry." But essentially, so I can go into a little bit of the situation with Silver Ridge Peaks, because there's a couple of things happening. The obvious one is the working from home situation that we're having at the moment. So I think, yeah, pretty much 100% of the staff that we have is working from home. There's like maybe 2 or 3 people coming to the office once a week, something like this. And this is on PC. It's easier to deal with than on consoles, which is obviously not a problem of PlayStation or Xbox or anything like that. That's just how prepared we were for that kind of situation, and we've been kind of dealing with it like as good as we could. But a reserve is a pretty big release in itself, and now we can see like, okay, the things that we need to get better at. So that's one thing, just how to deal with testing, development kits, multiplayer, these kind of things is a little bit more complicated and complex in a work from home situation where you have to deal with a lot of, VPNs, remote connections, and that kind of stuff. It just makes it more complicated. Then another part for Silver Ridge Peaks, what we did is actually the biggest reserve that we've done. And to get a little bit technical is usually like of the world that we have, we use like one quadrant, and this time we use 2. and it's not that big a difference. Like we didn't suddenly double the size of the reserve. We just have a couple of corners where we said like, oh, it would be nice if we have a bit more range in the mountains where animals can roam and move around. And then we said like, okay, we'll just make it bigger and but just use like 2 or 3% of that size, right? And that had big ramifications on the technical side where we suddenly have problems we never had before with reserves, and that just took a lot of time to fix. And that time investment, we went in with it, and then the more of that stuff you have to fix, then the less time you have to do the other remaining work, which might be optimization for consoles, whatever other bugs are coming up, and these kind of things. So that bit us in the ass big time. I hope I'm allowed to say the word. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
So those are two learnings. I think big learnings that we won't repeat.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing too, guys. Is like, you know, we understand you're frustrated and stuff like that, but like, there's no need to be rude in chat about it. We're owning our mistakes, okay? So like, you know, if you're still angry and you feel like you got to get personal, maybe go and take a breather. Otherwise, we'll be making you, you know, have a voluntary breather, basically, because there's a difference between, you know, expressing your concerns and stuff like that, and then there's just being rude. So we'd never ever ban anyone for being like upset and saying, look, my game is, you know, I'm angry and stuff like that. But then if you start getting personal and insulting us personally, that's when the bans will start to happen. So it's just important we lay this down, because we're like here having an open, honest conversation about it, and you know, like, it's happened, and we're here to face the music, basically. So
Yeah, I see a couple other questions. Prototype Vodka, are you informed about the buggy missions in Silver Ridge Peaks? Are you working on fixes? And I saw another question whether there are side missions on Silver Ridge Peaks. So yeah, we are aware about the issues on missions, especially like where you can get blocked or where your progression isn't saved. We're working on a patch for that. Don't have an official date on PC yet, but I think it might happen this week, and those will be fixed for the console release, of course. The other question was regarding to side missions. So that was another conscious thing that we've done for this reserve specifically. For the past reserves, we had always a lot of issues with the missions, as you guys are aware. There's usually a good round of bugs related to them upon release, and this is has a lot to do with the tools that we have at our disposal in creating them. So there is a good chunk of the mission work where, due to the tools that we have, it's basically only one person who can work on them at a time, which is just very time consuming, and obviously something that we have to fix on our end. But that's what it is at the moment. So we decided, looking a little bit at the feedback that we've got, where usually we're really happy that so many people are playing the missions and giving us feedback, and they're really into the narrative, which is like a big difference to Classic, I'd say. But if we look at the hard data and the metrics, like especially from the first two reserves, Leighton Lake and Hirschfelden, how many people actually completed all the missions, it's very, very few. Obviously, that is also tied to whether those missions are broken or not. But for Silver Ridge Peaks, we made the decision to only focus on main missions, so we can still have the warden experience and have a voiceover, because we also think that's really, really cool. But maybe cut a little bit out of the risky side needs of side missions. We haven't seen a lot of feedback regarding this. Obviously, it's not out on consoles yet, so we'll definitely wait for that. But we'll see what you guys say. If you think like, okay, just main missions is fine, or just get rid of the missions and do something more of something else, that's something we could investigate further. But that's the choice that we made for this one.
for sure. And I mean, like, there has been a lot of really good support too. Like, if you guys go and read through the social media channels and stuff, a lot of people do kind of understand. And the general consensus on there, because I had to go and tally it up, is that people would rather a quality product release than a rushed one with bugs. And so that was basically what we, you know, that was our decision as well, and that's what we'd predicted people would prefer. So.
Yep. Infernova 71, TK, is there a chance that cross-platform play will ever be a thing? I think I can jump on that one. We would like to. We would really like to. It's a ton of work, and it's not like Sony is saying don't do it or Microsoft is saying don't do it. It's just more down to like, oh my God, can we actually do this as the dev team? And every now and then somebody's like, hey, can we do cross-platform? We're like, oh yeah, we'd love to. But then we get down to the estimates, and would we want to have coders just spending time on doing that, and we don't have any new gameplay features in the game, or is it going to take us like 5 years to do? So right now it's on the list, but it's pretty far down. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And again, like I mentioned this in Flinders stream last night too, but like I don't know if you guys realize, but this hurts us as a company more than it hurts you guys. And like, we always aim for sim launch, and so like this was no weird strategy or anything like this. It was literally just miscalculations and things like Phil was saying earlier. So, I hope that kind of helps you understand a little bit about it as well. I think that was a good shot.
It's the first stream. I'm not sure how we did it last time, but just so you guys are aware, I can't hear the game audio, and it's so weird. It's eerie.
Because it's all like silent. It's just silent death.
Yeah.
That's it.
One other thing we can pick up, I saw it popping up every now and then, since we had a launch discount on Steam in Silver Age Peaks released. Will we have something similar on consoles? But that's something we're looking into, just to generally align how it's going on the platforms. So we're looking into it, and I think as we get closer to the release date, we should be able to announce if anything is happening. But the goal is to have these things aligned in the future. So if you see a launch discount on Steam, you should also have that launch discount on the consoles, most likely.
Cool. Sorry, I've just got to do a little bit of moderation, so keep chatting. Someone's getting a permanent timeout over on the tubes, which is a bit of a shame, but it is the way it is. They might have already been nuked, I think, the looks of this. They're gone. They're already gone.
I see some other questions related to dogs, like where are they on the to-do list? Dogs is a very beloved topic, so they're definitely higher than cross-platform, let's say that.
Yeah, for sure. And like the dogs in Classic, I think were pretty successful too. And I don't know, like, when was the first dog come out in Classic, Phil? That must have been like, was that 2015?
I think it was 16.
Was it? Yeah, okay.
I think so, yeah. I think I started on Classic like 15, and it feels like I was there for a little while until the dogs came.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, we have some experience there, and I think it was a ton of fun on Classic, so we'll try to recreate that whenever it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's it. And we got a lot of good statistics too from like how they work in Classic and what people are experiencing and things like that. But yeah, I do believe actually that there's going to be a little bit of a survey coming out soon, just to make sure that we're up to date with the latest dog requirements, I think. So nice. keep your ears and eyes out for that if you want to have a say in if we ever decide to do hunting dogs, basically.
Nice. See another question, Clan Cisa. Is delaying console release a marketing strategy? Definitely not. I think that would be a pretty bad marketing strategy, just to get some chatter going on, but that chatter basically, of people being very disappointed and very angry, and rightfully so. And obviously we are super disappointed about this as well. Like, I don't think this is doing anyone any good.
No.
So this is definitely not any marketing strategy.
No, it's definitely not. It's actually, from because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm part of the marketing team more so than the dev team, and it's definitely not how we wanted to market everything. But it's just the way it happens sometimes. So. Yeah.
I've seen a couple of questions regarding what fixes are going to be in the patch and the console release. We talked about the mission issues, so blocking progression, not saving progression correctly, these kind of things. I saw the called out frame rate issues where a lot of people say like, oh, it suddenly like feels a lot slower than it used to be. That one is going to be fixed. And I think we have a couple more, but most of them are related to the missions.
Silences, guys. Silences or suppressors come up a lot, and again, like we say, everything same with ARs is that they're probably not likely to go in the game unless we can find a good balance for it. So that would be like that would have to be pitched to a game designer to work out to see if they can go in the game without breaking the balance of it. So that's how that works.
Yeah. Civ Spidey, maybe we need to release DLC at the same time for console and PC. Yeah, absolutely. I think like we started out at the very beginning. Call of the Wild was only available for PC until a couple months later. Then it was released on the consoles as well, and since then it was kind of a catch-up game. Like PC would release first, and then console got it a little bit later. And obviously the console players felt like, well, why are you treating us this way? And for us, it was just a technical question. Like we've never done a game on those platforms before with such a small team and self-published, so just lots of learnings. And then at some point we managed like, okay, we have the DLCs as well as the reserves now as a sim ship, and now we're kind of like losing that ground again. And it's definitely not a direction we want to go down. So having everything released at the same time on all the platforms is the goal. Like this is not only better for us from the development standpoint, because you don't have to do with like two different timelines and two different technical branches and these kind of things that you have to take care of. And of course also much easier for the community of like everybody gets the same thing on the same day, and it's a very fair treatment. So this is how we want to deal with it. So now we're going to look into the next patches that we have to do for console and PC, and our goal is to have them aligned as soon again as we possibly can. If there's some grave issues that are going on, we might still try to patch them on PC if there's anything outstanding, but it's not going to be like, oh, here's some extra content that now the other platform doesn't get, and vice versa. We wouldn't want to do something extra on console now so that PC feels treated badly either. We just want it to be the same as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I mean, just to reiterate, I think correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, but like having everything sim launched for us too is much easier. It means development can continue. We don't have any lag. It's the right, Phil. And then also, even from a marketing point of view, like it's when we do a marketing plan, it's important to keep like the right hype and tension and stuff up, and then drop it all, and then everyone's excited. So then, like if we built the hype up, and now we've got like this big kind of dead zone for us. I'm just talking about it from a marketing point of view now. So, like, from the whole company's point of view, we are going to be striving to get to some launch as much as we can, because it suits us just as much as it suits you guys too. Well, it's just as good for us as it is good for you as well.
Yeah.
Yep. For me, the audio is cutting off. It's probably my internet. No, it's just kind of a little bit of a weird connection today. I think I can hear sometimes it cutting out as well, so I don't think it's on your guys' end, actually.
So Snail Rancher comes in with a question. Console players have 3 extra overhead skins, the 7mm Empress. I think it's the Wildcat Revolver and the Game Changer. That most PC players do not have. Will this be changed? So this was tied to a retail extra reward back at the PC release. So if you bought the game from a specific retailer, you would get that skin. Yeah, if that isn't available to all PC players by now, we can definitely take a look at that for sure.
Exactly, Fishmaster. We built the hype up and then dropped a disappointment bomb. That's a very good way to do it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I think, Matt, we've probably been on that end as well as a player. Like whenever you see, like, I mean, there's a couple of delays going on in the gaming industry right now, so we know how it feels. Like, oh, god damn it. I've taken vacation and now like they delayed it or that kind of thing, and it's definitely not a thing that we want to repeat ever. And I think we have a couple of meetings coming up internally as well from all the different aspects of like, the marketing, the tech side, what kind of content do we have in the game, and so on and so on. That will take away, and I think there's going to be a lot more weight and a lot more importance on whenever this decision, or whenever we look at the topic of like, okay, we have these different platforms, PC, consoles, and so on, how we're going to treat them. I think there's going to be a very big echo of this experience saying like, well, make it same day, even if it takes longer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just to kind of shift a little bit from that, turkeys will strut more and they will gobble more. I do believe the team is working on that one. Just some feedback that's been coming in so far.
Yeah, Necromorphos, are there more weapon skins planned? Yes, I think we're still working a little away at the weapon requests that we're getting, so rather more calibers and different weapons, but skins is definitely something that we will do in the future as well. And so another question from Dawkins Gaming: can you provide any insight into the future plans for Call of the Wild with the release of the next-gen consoles later this year? No, it's a very good question. No plans so far, other than we will still be around. So we will continue to do animals, maps, weapons, all the like, to get everything in the game that you guys want to see.
Can you make turkeys go up to level 4, please? I think you'd mean probably 5, I think is the next thing Reinhard. I'm not sure if there'd be any benefit to that. I mean, I guess the team can probably have a look at it. A bit more like geese, maybe, I think you're thinking. Oh. He's attentive.
When will the Hunter Call of the Wild be a single platform like Fortnite does? Not sure, I completely understand that, but the goal is to have all releases simultaneously going forward. And if you're speaking about cross-platform, like PC being able to play with PlayStation and Xbox and so on, we would love to do that. There's no plans currently because it's a big ask from a technology standpoint.
Yeah. But, I mean, again, ladies and gentlemen, too, and I know this is probably going to maybe not help, but, we still have a really good year ahead of us, and, there's a lot of exciting things to come for Call of the Wild, so I know it's a bit of a down, but things are going to be, getting back up, and we're going to be back on that train again. I mean, you guys, yeah. We've delivered turkeys. Turkeys is a huge, big ask. We've got a beautiful Rocky Mountains map. And like I say, hopefully, we can have a laugh about this in 6 months' time together. Kind of how sometimes we have a little bit of a laugh about the geese, I think, Phil. So yeah.
I pray we'll be laughing. Well, I hope so. I mean, that's definitely what we're working towards, so for sure.
But we understand at the moment kind of the disappointment and how you're feeling by it all. So
yeah, and I saw a question like how this will affect any future releases for the rest of the year, and we'll have to do some shuffling around, but we plan to, the rest of the big beats that we have for the remaining 2020, that those stay untouched. So I think you'll get some stuff that you will definitely like. Mm-hmm. But what you mentioned, Matt, as well, like okay, we have like Rocky Mountains out now, we have Turkey. We're kind of wondering what the next meme is going to be.
Yeah. Well, have you heard about the high unicorns?
God, no.
So they want high unicorns on the Savannah map, which is a hyena and a unicorn cross. So some people even drew some beautiful pictures and put them in Discord about how they imagine a high unicorn looks. That was, I mean, this is when was this meme? This was back when Great Ones first came out, I think, on that Easter egg weekend we had. So, but yeah, it will be interesting to see kind of because off the top of my head, and again, this isn't from any survey. When I'm in the chat with you guys, I see pheasants, Australia, birds in general, small game too. People like squirrels. For some reason, blowguns are quite hot at the moment, Phil. for small game, and then what else do we see? Some weapon requests, 308s. Yeah, things like that. Oh, Medved love too. Animals on Medved, Phil. That's just off the top of my head anyway. Week in, week out, what these guys are telling us. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty good. I saw some mentioning of TK doing the narrative for the next warden as well and voiceover. I mean, if you want to suffer any further, we can make it happen.
Yes, that's right. That's it. I mean, because I'm from New Zealand too. I'm not from Australia, so be like, "G'day, how's it going? Welcome to Australia. You've got a bit of a pest problem. Glad you could show up. Grab one of the guns off a rack and just head out, would you? Shoot anything that moves, and we'll have some cold ones waiting in the fridge when you come back."
I'm sold.
How's that for an opening line? Was it good?
I'm sold. Oh man, that's great.
Yeah.
So a question, SAS joystick, would you consider release beta or demos so we can test the updates on all different platforms before they go live? So we do that on PC. I think we will work towards having that on console as well. Given the release frequency that we have, which is like once a month, once every 6 weeks or so, that might be pretty difficult. Just because the setup you have to do on consoles is a little bit more elaborate, a little bit more time consuming, whereas on PC we're quite used to it and it goes pretty smoothly, as in, like you press a couple of buttons and it's up there within hours. So it's going to be a challenge, but it's definitely going to be something we look into, because obviously the takeaway that we have, all the information we get from you guys, as well as the crashes sent to us or the metrics that we collect, are super, super valuable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I mean, I think you guys have left. I mean, I hope basically you guys see too that when a beta goes out, we genuinely want your feedback. We genuinely address the feedback that you give us too. I mean, look at the Red Deer. I think it was the last beta we did, wasn't it, Phil? And we made the front tines longer on them and changed a few things about it too. And then obviously we find little bugs and stuff like that too, like the flying mouflon didn't even make it live. That sort of stuff, So again, like we try to be pretty open and honest with you guys, and this is just this is what the stream is about, is continuing that. So
yeah. And I mean, also, like, the help of the whole community is so vital and so important. Like, not only helping us find these issues and test out things ahead of time, but also like making the turkeys into a meme, or answering the survey, and writing in a customer support ticket, or just telling your friends how great the game is, or just playing the game and telling us what you want to see next. That's, for a lot of people on the team, that's really the important thing, and they get so happy. Like now, obviously it takes longer until it's out on console, but seeing the first players on Steam, and checking that you guys like it, that you enjoy the map and the turkeys and the other animals on the map, just makes us so happy and gives us so much more energy to just like go into the survey results and see, like, okay, what's next on the list? Like, what can we do next? Mm-hmm. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Duck Wrestler, Bighorn sheep are getting addressed too, buddy. It's just that again, like, we couldn't get them out in time. Like, basically the first time you guys had a really good look at them was the Content Creator Weekend. Then I dropped on PC on the Tuesday. So I mean, that's just more feedback that is getting addressed. So yeah, so, and ladies and gentlemen too, I just see some people saying, not answering my question. Is 600 people in chat here at the moment. I'm monitoring 4 different chats at once. Phil's on one chat. Are you, Phil? Are you on
Twitch, yeah.
Twitch, yeah. So I will try and pull questions out too, but we never, ever ignore anyone on purpose. It's literally like the chat just goes like this, and I have to basically just try and pull one out and then talk about it. And by the time I've even finished talking about it, it's off and off the screen already. So there we go.
Yeah. I see one recurring question, Blakers 2410. What is console going to get because of what happened? Because it feels like it's not fair. So we're looking into just getting everything we do on the different platforms on the same level. So that doesn't only go for release date, but also for any launch discounts or that kind of thing. The console version will have the TrueRACS for Mule Deer as well. It's very likely that we're going to roll that out on PC at the same time as well, because we don't want to continue that road of like, okay, no, the other platform gets something first, and then the other platform catches up. That just brings a lot of additional headache for the development team as well as for the community. That is not necessary. So we're looking into things, what we can do on top of that, but just in terms of development, we're probably going to make sure to have everything aligned
Yeah.
as fast as we can.
But yeah, I think to summarize it again, Phil, correct me if I'm wrong, but to put that in less words, basically we don't want to be hypocrites. So going forward, we want everything at the same time. So if we put out a console patch first now before PC players, basically we'd be kind of setting a bad precedent to start with. Is that kind of what you're trying to say? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep.
If you do Australian map, can you get Crocodile Dundee to do the narration of the missions? I think we already found our Crocodile Dundee right here.
Mate, you call that a knife? Is the game crossplay, Daniel Salt? No, it's not. We just talked about that too, and it's a possibility in the future, but nothing's planned for it. So,
Fate Pixels, Phil and TK, what do you think about genes and animal management? Oof, that's a deep one.
man, I like my Levi's for jeans and my, well, oh wait, we're talking about animal jeans. Okay, yeah.
God damn it.
Sorry, dad jokes.
It's actually a suggestion I don't see that often, but definitely a super interesting one. I'd say there's still a couple of checkboxes we have to tick, like similar to the turkey or some requested weapons or reserves.
Mm-hmm.
But looking long term, I think if that's something that you guys want to see, we'd be happy to check it out further. Question would be like, how would it work? What is it that you want to do?
Yeah, that's it. So the other thing too, ladies and gentlemen, there is no clue in this patch because I get asked that too. Actually, at the moment, there is no clue to find. I hope no one spent wasting hours and hours of their life. But yeah, that there is no clue in this patch. So trail cams too, Phil. That'd be freaking sweet. That'd be so sweet.
But how, like, again, like, if you say like trail cams, what do you expect? Do you expect to put them up somewhere in the map and then you get like a hunter mate's notification when the cam picks something up? Or
man, just fill my email box with amazing trophy shots, please, Phil. I mean, I would like to see what's in areas and also like try and use them to find great ones and stuff like that. That's how I would be using them in game if they were there, basically. So
nice. Dr. Guros, are there any plans for reworking the storage UI with all the weapons, ammo we have now with weapon DLC that really became a huge mess? Yes, I think generally some parts of the UI as well as the accessibility with the gamepad is pretty difficult in places. So our QA team already made a pretty big analysis of like, hey, here's where we have most problems, and we got some additional reinforcements to check that out. So we're working on it. We don't have a dedicated estimate when this would be released. It's probably still a little bit out, but we hope to make like first solutions and strives toward this soon.
don't mind the turkey just coming through.
Nice. Seeing some good suggestions how trail cams would work and everything, so that's nice. It's always excellent to not only get like the feature request, but also like how it would play out in your head.
Yeah, that's
right. So seeing those descriptions is awesome, guys. Keep it coming.
Yeah, because there's always the item and then everyone's perceived idea of how that item should work, basically too. So
yeah, and then there's loadouts, right?
Yeah, exactly. Loadouts would be a good quality of life thing now, especially seeing as we're up to. Wait, this is the 8th reserve, right, Phil? I think. So,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So TrueRACS Mule. I see a lot of people saying, "Tell us about it," especially on YouTube. I saw them for the first time today, ladies and gentlemen, and they're looking pretty sweet. But again, they're like another species that we want to make sure are looking pretty schmick. So they're kind of a little bit too early to show you guys yet, basically.
Yeah, but that would have been the thing we hinted for as well. You know, there's no hint. Now you already know.
Wait, so you saying that True Multi come out next, Phil? Is that what you're saying?
What?
What? No way. Yeah, it's way.
Will there be an ability for players to disable? Now the question's already gone. Disable TrueRACS in single player to get to the OG Rex. I don't think so. No. So once TrueRACS are implemented and patched into the game, you can keep your original racks that you have in the trophy lodge, but whatever else you find out in the world, since we usually do a population reset, is gonna have the new system.
Holiday events, Keith is asking. What about holiday events? Would you like to see holiday events? Like, I guess Easter, probably he's talking about like classic stuff, Phil, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. We get that question every now and then, and I think we always sadly say the same thing as well, that we're prioritizing fixing bugs over it, which is obviously a good thing. Like, we should be doing that. The quality, especially the core gameplay loop, is very, very important to us. Having said that, though, there's a couple of things that we started and never finished that would lend themselves really well to specific times in the year. So maybe there's some stuff we can pick up this time. Maybe around, November, something like that, October.
Gotcha. A flintlock, Seth, that'd be a cool one. I'd like to see a flintlock. I just want, for some reason, there'd be something magical about waiting a little bit of a delay for, the click and then poof. I don't know. Something in my head, I think it makes some fun gameplay. Probably some frustrating one too. It's like, you're running out of time to make that shot. Now you got to wait for the gunpowder to burn down. But this lake is usually not too bad up here. But I guess maybe because I shot that turkey, everything's skedaddled. Oh, this is what we're talking about. Come to daddy.
TLOS, an increase to render distance would be nice. Yeah, definitely would be nice. Maybe one thing to mention about some mods out there available on PC as well. I think there is some stuff available increasing render distance. It's not super safe to use that stuff. Like, we've seen a couple of people running into crash issues.
Yeah, especially recently.
Yeah, exactly. When we released the latest patch, there is a lot more tied to the render distance of an animal itself as well as the vegetation. So it's also about physics and a couple of simulation things. So unfortunately for us, it's not as easy as just moving the slider further to the right and say render distance is now 700 meters or whatever. It comes with a lot more drawback. So we would love to do it. We will keep looking into it, but there's nothing that we can announce right now.
This is correct. Low FPS animations, yes, that is going to be fixed. Vasco, that is coming out, I do believe, in the first patch, right, Phil? I think that was part of the first patches.
Yeah.
So, got some big males coming in. I got my first diamond turkey the other night, actually, Phil. I forgot to tell you.
Your first one, really?
Yeah.
How did that feel?
It was good. It was unexpected too, because it was a level 2. So I kind of had to do a double take when I opened up the,
Yeah, man. I watched a couple of videos. I think it was when we did the weekend for the streamers just before the PC release, and it's that time when you see people for the first time interacting with the new content, and I think it was Fooster, I think.
Yeah.
And I think he wasn't big into turkey hunting before, and he didn't know a lot about them. And then he was just, rolling on the floor whenever he saw them taking off or landing, or he was going after some other animal, and then turkey comes in through the through the screen.
I remember this actually.
Awesome to see,
was very good. Let's make sure there's nothing else.
Active cinematic, is the animal population the same for new maps on every account? Yes. Yes, so in terms of how many animals or what species you have on the map, that is the same, yes. And what's the distribution between diamond, gold, silver, or the possibility of that uh, animal. I can't hit nothing. Well, me neither, bro. When can we visit friends' lodges again? Yeah, so that is a known issue at the moment. We're working on it. I don't think it's going to be included in the patch that we release on PC next or on the console release, but hopefully very, very, very soon after that.
Yeah.
Any plans for a Scandinavian style map? That sounds nice. What kind of animals would you like to see and what kind of vegetation?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
Oh, here's a good one. Ancient Yuletide Carol. Will there be flowing waterfalls at some point in this
Ooh.
game? I think every time we discuss like, okay, what's the next reserve we're gonna build, there's like at least 10 people saying like, hey, I know we discussed running water and waterfalls last time, and it's like technology-wise, it's a pretty big deal. But this time, what about this time? So it's definitely something that we want to do. And if you think about like an immersive world, immersive reserve and like tranquil outdoor space, running water is definitely part of that. So we want to have it in the game. We're working on it only in our brains right now. Like I don't think we have anything working in game, so that might be some time out. And here's another good one. Teo the Turtle Hermit, please fix the huge hitboxes on the trees. How about that?
How about
Brain would
that?
love that.
It would be, yeah, it would be good. I haven't seen any real bad ones in a long time, though. To be fair, maybe some maps are worse than others. I'm not sure. So I think like those things, screenshots and send them to support at thehunter.com. That really helps us out because then we can kind of narrow down which model of tree it is and where it is, and maybe we can work out what's going on with it. So yeah. That's actually a good point too. Do you mind if I just hijack stuff for a little bit, Phil?
Sure.
So, like, I love this community. It's freaking fantastic, and it actually genuinely breaks my heart to see everyone so kind of sad and negative at the moment. Just as like a public service request from me, I guess, like, please keep sending stuff into support. Like even if support, say, hey, listen, sorry, we can't help you with this at the moment. That is the right place to log all the issues, and then that stuff gets fed through to the dev team properly. So even though you think, hey, maybe the support hasn't helped me, it actually will in the long run because that they help to build the cases for issues or bugs or whatever you're having, and there's a good chance other people are experiencing them as well. So like I say, is most of the time they are very good at fixing people's issues or suggesting how to fix them. But please don't be discouraged if your issue is not fixed in the the short term. And then the last thing I'll kind of try and say too is that like try and keep you guys head up because keeping positivity in a gaming community is really, really important, especially if we're trying to attract new players and stuff into the game, which builds our community. Okay, so like I say, I've been here nearly 3 years now, and Graham was big on it too. Stomping out that negativity because we want this to be exciting. A fun place for new people to be. And while I understand, Phil understands that currently the issues are because of us. Okay, so that's what we're here today, putting a hand up, saying sorry for you guys. But like I was saying, is trying to run with the negativity, and I get the feeling that some people kind of think it's cool or whatever to be on the negativity train. It really hurts everyone, not just the developers, and basically. So yeah, that's me. That's a request from me. I can't make you do it. It's just something that to think about for the future, basically. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you guys have every right to be disappointed and angry at us because we
100%.
messed up,
Yeah.
and there's no denying that, and we're gonna rectify that. But over time, hopefully, we'll get back to the place where we just help each other out and talk about the game in a positive sense. And there's still all this other content that is still in the game. And yeah, August 11th is an eternity away. It feels like Matt and I, we talked about it just before the stream
Yeah.
started. Like, it hits really hard, especially if you've been looking forward to it, and we're really sorry for that. But hopefully we can get to that point again together where we're like, okay, eventually it's gonna drop. We have some other animals still to hunt until it's here, and it's gonna come out. And we love to see that positivity in the community, and it makes the day-to-day job of every
Oh
dev
man.
a lot simpler as well, a
Yeah.
lot more enjoyable, because we go into the forums, the Discords, Steam, Reddit, YouTube, wherever. We read your suggestions and everything, and obviously we know what to expect there, and it's on us because we messed up. But that still doesn't necessarily make it easier to read, like the complaints and so on, until we get to the point in a bug where we get the information, we know how to fix it or what the problem is, or we figure out the next, see the things that you want to be in the game next.
Yeah. The favorite place I like to be with the community is when like people are sending me funny memes and we can have a joke with you guys back again and stuff. Like that's the goal. Like I like it, like being able to have a bit of a joke with you guys on social media and stuff like that. And obviously we wouldn't do that at the moment. It wouldn't go down well. But like when we get the community back to that place, that is a good place to be. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're working on that, guys. Rest assured.
Yeah, for sure.
Shadowfall, man, is there any plans to add trophy shots sometime this year at Expansive Worlds? I don't think so. It's in the list, it's pretty high up as well. I think we started some work on it already because we absolutely adore that feature from Classic, but I do not think so that it will make it this year, but who knows? Who knows?
Why isn't there a Rocky Mountain elk multi-mount? So, TKM, I think, maybe someone else can chime in here, but I think the decision was made that turkeys were the animal that everyone was looking forward to the most. And so they spent quite a bit of time. I don't know if you've seen some of those turkey posts, but they're pretty epic. Especially, I like the fighting ones and the mating. I mean, the whole thing is basically just a big mating ritual for the turkeys on there. But I mean, it's not to say that there won't be other multi mounts for different species on here.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's super encouraging as well. If you guys want to have new multi-mounts, because it feels like that's another part where we can just put more work into that is not as big as a new reserve or necessarily as big as TrueRACS for an animal. And the animators usually have a pretty good time with that as well. So just request that stuff away if you want to see more multi-mounts. That's definitely something we can and will support in the future. Primal Dragon 1998, can we get more exotic animals in the game, such as the 3 other members of Africa's Big Five and animal species in Asia? Very good question. Would love to hear what other people think about that. I think, again, like we have a couple of jackboxes to fill first. Like I've seen a couple of requests for pheasant, for example. It's not super exotic. But if you guys want to see it, make sure it's heard, because that helps us. Obviously, we still know the feedback from when we rolled out Virunga Savannah, where a lot of people said like, well, it feels like there's some animals in here that should be represented. So if you're all cool with that decision, let us know, and then we'll see what we will do about it. Might be a little bit further out though.
Yeah. A little bit. I like to do some flash surveys on here these days, Phil, just to to stroke my curiosity, I suppose. Hands up, or yes or yay or nay for squirrels, ladies and gentlemen. How many people in here would think that being able to shoot squirrels would be a cool thing to do? Obviously, with it'd be the smaller end of the weapons. Wow.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
That's you can't see YouTube is all full of yays. Actually,
Yeah, to Twitch too, yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I actually thought it'd be a little bit more 50-50. Or even weighted to the other way where, less people would want squirrels.
Yeah. Now we put the camera to the live dev team, and we see like Sergey and the gameplay programmers and the animators are like, oh my god, no. Squirrels that run up trees and on branches and jump to other trees, like, no, please.
Just do like little teleporting things, or you make the brush in the trees so thick so you can't see them running through, Phil.
I mean, then we have more people shooting trees again, so balance restored.
Yeah, no one's shot trees in a long time. Actually, it used to be quite the thing. Um, but no, that's good. Callers for animals with no callers for. So virtual crash. We try and imitate real hunting as much as we should do in a gaming situation. And if animals don't have callers in real life, you won't find them in this game too. It just doesn't make any sense to do that. Like part of every animal, well, not every animal, but a lot of animals we try and offer like a different hunting variation. Does that mean? So you might have to try and change your hunting style up to be able to get them. So.
Yeah, and there's a lot of revenge requests against the beavers.
Yes, me.
Understandably, I'm on that team too.
Yeah, me too, man. I want to be able to shoot beavers. I think it would offer some fun gameplay actually, but again, it might be a bit of a coding challenge. I don't know how well that'll work. You love the rabbit serenity? That's cool. Oh, the Great One placement bug. So actually, that's something I'm guessing it might have been put on the back burner. Feral Hog's asking Phil. He was one of the original people to shoot a Great One, and then after the change that we made, he can no longer put it in his trophy lodge. It crashes his game. So
yeah. I think I remember. Like usually, like we talk a lot about the ongoing. Well, a lot. We regularly talk about the ongoing bugs that we haven't fixed yet, and I think I saw that one popping up quite recently. So we can double check. Unfortunately, usually that there aren't that many people who have that OG issue of like I have like literally one of the first Great Ones shot ever.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit lower on the priority list, but eventually we will get around to it.
There we go. Do you know the really bad Swedish joke about zebras, Phil?
No, I don't know that one.
I mean, obviously, basically, zebra or zebra is like seeing good in Swedish, right? And so the joke in Swedish goes, which animal has the best eyesight?
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's such a Gothenburg joke.
A Gothenburg joke.
Every Swede would say right now, like because I think Gothenburg is like famous for like really bad puns.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
There we go. Represent.
It's funny. What about losing outposts when updates hit? Reckon, yeah, I think there's a couple of workarounds. I know that's kind of frustrating, but again, like Phil was saying, that is on our radar to get looked at, and I do believe that it's part of the save game issues that kind of a thing that we're looking at as well.
Yeah. Many players would love to see a countdown timer on the scent eliminators. Yeah, absolutely. I think we actually started working towards that, or at least having the information in the store, so how long it lasts. So I think you'll see this soon in the game, I believe. I'm gonna be quoted now forever.
Yeah, there we go. Are mods like render distance mod okay to use without Steam bans? I don't know what the official... I mean, I think because you're only ever playing against yourself really in this, I don't think would we, unless you're like straight up flying around and stuff like that, I don't think we'd be banning you for kind of, what do you want to say, aid mods? Would you call them aiding mods, Phil, or something? But I actually don't know what our stance is on this, to be honest. I've never had to deal with it, so...
Yeah, like we officially don't support them. Obviously, we're super grateful for anyone who puts more love and support into this game. Be aware when you use them because they might break the game. We have currently no plans to ban you for using those. However, obviously, once it comes closer to competitions and stuff like that, where you compete against other players, then that obviously changes.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. Basically, use them at your own risk, and it's not like because they're fine one day doesn't mean that they're going to be fine in 3 months' time. So, just to put that in a nutshell for you.
Here's a good one. Shark Alarm 51. Beautiful map. Thank you for that. But some parts of the map have no animals at all. Any way to get animals to travel through all parts of the map. So this is a great point. And in the beginning we said this map is bigger than the previous ones, all the previous ones. And I don't mean like double the size or whatever. I just mean like we used more space to create this map, and we used maybe like additional 10 or 5%. Especially I think it's the edges in the southwest that are bigger, and we have issues making animals go there. So if you don't find anything right there, maybe try some other regions until we have that under control. And those regions, in comparison to the rest of the map, aren't too big. But if you insist on playing on the edges of the map, you might run into that issue. Just so you know.
What have we got left? We've got about 4 minutes left. Oh, Wyatt's just come home too. So you probably hear him. Hey, little man. But yeah, we've got about 4 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. So keep throwing us your burning questions. And like, hopefully after this hour or two, you guys kind of get a feeling where we're at with the whole situation, because we definitely understand where you're at with it. So. Into making another Africa map. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think that might be like if we ever did further down the list kind of thing, right? Because we've already got an Africa map basically, and we're probably more likely to add something to it rather than make a whole new African map. That's just my gut feeling on it. I don't know what do you think about that one, Phil?
I mean, luckily, like the place is big enough, so I think we could find an extra space in the world that is super interesting, and we have a good list of animals that aren't used yet. But we have like the requests are growing to get some additional animals on the older maps, like Medved, for example. So I'm not sure if we do a little revisit tour first, or something like that, before we do another Africa map. I mean, now with the Rockies, we have similar places like this in the game already, of course, as well. But since it's been requested by so many people, and it was a great synergy with the Turkey, it was just irresistible, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just kind of was like a very I mean, it's a beautiful map. I don't. It's. I mean, I said this before too, and obviously I work for the company, but this is by far my favourite map and the best one that's ever been released for me. Just for my like, I love bow hunting, and it fits my hunting style very well. This map does. So,
Fishmaster123, do the animals have a mind of their own, or is it a program? It's a bit of a meta question right there. They have their own schedule they follow, so at specific times they want to eat, drink, sleep, and so on. So depending on what group they belong to, I think they go through that. But of course, you can influence that. So if you find an animal and you detects you, or you spook it away, then that changes, and they prioritize the threat level and these kind of things. And also the way you hunt, so like hunting pressure has effects on the need zones of animals. So if you hunt a lot of animal in a specific spot, they will avoid that spot for a good amount of time that cools down in the game.
Yeah. Right, you guys ready for another flash survey? What, like Phil was talking about, like you were saying about Medved, right? If there was another animal added to Medved, what would you like to see? What would you like to see? Which animal? I can hear that fan going. Phil's got the like he's on a
wolves, muskox, wolves.
Wow, wolves, Wolverine, badger, tiger, kangaroo to Medved. That'd be funny. Pheasants. I don't think there are pheasants in Siberia, from memory anyway. Maybe there is. Snowshoe hare, Wolverine, Capercaillie, muskox. Muskox seem to be a pretty big one.
Ptarmigan.
A yeti.
Yeti. Okay.
Interesting. Oh, Siberian roe deer. Yeah, that would be my pick. Actually, those things are incredible. But I think it might render the normal roe deer. Like, I don't think anyone would want to hunt the normal roe deer after the Siberian roe deer went in there. Actually, so I'm not sure if we'd be, what do you call it? Cutting ourselves off at the knees, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's how the world goes, right? I mean, if you think ahead a couple of years, I think so many more animals to add, and then we'll just have to find ways to make the good old rodeo interesting again.
That's
So
right.
you know what's coming.
What's that? What's that?
Grade one rodeo.
Oh, there we go. So I see. I see. I see.
Easy.
That'd be good. That'd be awesome. Dude, because I get asked this a lot too, Phil. Do we have like a rough time frame of when the players might see the next great one?
Good question. I think we had this planned out fairly soon, but now since we reshuffled the release timelines, that might change a little bit.
Okay.
So I don't know actually. I think that right now the priority is to get Silver Ridge Peaks out on console as fine as possible, fix any issues, and then align the two, all the different platforms again. And I think then we can take another step at like, okay, what's going to be the next great one? And until then, of course, it is going to be Mule Deer TrueRACS.
Yeah, that's it. And I think we did agree because someone said, "Are we going to do it secretly?" So, from what I understand, next time there's a great one, you'll see in the patch notes "great one added," and that'll be it. And then we'll just gauge the community. Basically, if it goes unchecked for a long time, we might drop you some hints and stuff. But the general feedback was that people really liked the mystery around it all. Like a vast majority really enjoyed the fact that there was something in the game that they could find first, and that sort of stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely. Ferox Rising, when is the next patch going to come out for PC to fix the laggy weapon animations? So fixing that and a couple of mission issues, I think you can expect that this week. Project Alpha, would you consider a way to reset populations on console? Probably not. However, we're working on a system where we have more control for this from server side, so we don't need to patch games in order to reset populations or affect them in other ways. So if we see that the hard metrics are telling us something is wrong, or if we get a lot of people writing in, hey, something's off with the animal populations, we can just flip a switch and it changes pretty much instantly for people.
yeah, nice. Well, it's 2 minutes over, Phil. So have you got any kind of finishing words you want to leave with everybody?
I mean, again, just so super grateful to have you guys as our community. It's been a pretty difficult announcement yesterday, of course, for you as well as for us. August 11th seems like a very very long time away. So we're sorry for that, and we're definitely working on the shortcomings that we had this time around. And we thank you very much for your understanding, for the patience, and we absolutely understand the feelings that you guys have right now. Hopefully we can get to a place soon enough again where we just speculate about when is the next turkey kind of thing coming, what's the next map and these kind of things. And rest assured that we're not just keeping on walking in the same direction we've been walking to. Like, we're taking this very seriously. We're looking at this from many different angles to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So again, big thank you. We couldn't be happier or luckier to have people like you to make this game for. And I think I speak for everybody on the team if I say you guys are the absolutely best. And I'm super grateful to have you playing this little game of ours. And of course, thanks Matt for hosting me, for having me with our great remote setup, and always a pleasure to be here.
That's awesome, Phil. Thank you for joining, because I know the player base love you too, and it's like a lot more meaningful when these sorts of words come from you. So thank you very much for coming along, and I'm sure the community has appreciated it as well. So my little takeaway is, remember, surround yourselves in positive people in the community. There is a butt ton of them out there. It makes the game a lot better in general, and have a great rest of your week. See some of you guys on Thursday for the classic stream. Thank you very much, and catch you later.